Hey, welcome to the DPP channel. Today we have a tournament top cut game happened on the 8th January and it will be the clash between the Armor Release and the Yellow Race Security Control. Now, can the Armor Release mechanic actually do well against the likes of Gaia Force and Crimson Blaze? Or will the Security Control take this easily with their overwhelming security traps such as Zod Defeats and of course the Yellow Hybrid package? Now without further ado, let's dive right into the game itself as we do see the Flame Drum being pushed out and be casting the Fire Rocket to give him security attack +1, allowing you to swing at security. And we do hit into a Crimson Blaze which will only kill off a 6k DP below Digimon, and the Flame Drummer is actually 8k DP, and we do hit into a Zoe as well, and it does miss the search in the security, so that's unfortunate for him. And we're actually going to see a hardcore Vmon here which allows you to search the top 3 for a free type, and all the armor Digimon is free, and we do see 2 Fire Rocket going down the bottom deck, and I must say Fire Rocket is a very strong card against security control because your Digimon is just going to swing harder. You're going to see an Atomic Blaster being played here to clear off the Flame Dramon as well as the Vmon, which is a very clean kill, but the Armor Release does allow the Vmon to survive, which is pretty annoying in the perspective of the security control player. Just because the Digimon doesn't get killed cleanly, and you're going to see another Flame Dramon evolving on top of the Vmon. It's going to swing at the security of course, and we do hit into a Zod Defeat, which is a glimmer of hope for the security control player, and we're going to pass the turn with the Dual Tamer by the left player. Now this Dual Tamer really helped Armor Release a lot, and I must say it's actually an undervalued part. We're going to see the Zod Defeat hitting over the Flame Dramon, which will release the armor, and of course evolving to the Kazema on top of the Tamer to actually kill off the Vmon. I will hope so, but he does evolve to the Jet Seal Vmon to heal 1 first, putting him back to 3 security. We'll be hitting over the Vmon, and will actually be evolving on top of the Jet Seal Vmon into a Ophanimon 4-down mode, which will allow him to heal 1 more time back to 4 security. So I would say the security control player is healthy once again, but the Vmon will be pushed out and hitting at the security with the jamming, and of course drawing 1 thanks to the Upamon, hitting to a Jet Seal Vmon, so nothing goes wrong there. It's going to evolve to the Rydramon, and thanks to the Dual Tamer it's going to restand, and this is why the Dual Tamer is so strong, just because he can actually restand the Digimon. It does seem to Susanomon though, so it's unfortunate, but he does have Armor Release once again. So that Vmon has already dealt 2 damage on his own, and we're going to Memory Choke him with the Magnamon Evolution, which will actually restand itself and thus gain a bunch of DP for each armor Digimon. So it's going to start counting here, and we do see 3, so it's plus 6k DP, so it's actually a 13k DP Digimon for level 4, which is pretty insane. The Ophanimon won't be swinging because of the 13k blocker, but it's going to evolve to the Zod Defeat to kill off that Dual Tamer, and the Dual Tamer will be the Sora and Joe because it does give him a bunch of memory to start the turn off. But the Dual Tamer left, the Davis and Ken, does actually have his own threat as well, so that's a risky play I would say. Gonna hatch the Upamon and of course evolving to the Vmon to draw 1. The Magnamon will swing at security with 7k DP only, but it's going to draw 1 thanks to the Upamon, does hit into a Magnamon and does become deleted, but the Armor Release once again helping out the Vmon to survive. It's going to evolve to a Magnamon to actually Memory Choke the opponent, and the Vmon alone has already dealt 3 security attacks I must say, and that's annoying for the security control player, but he doesn't have any outs or rather any heal anymore. He's going to swing the 2 Zod Defeat into the security and hitting to an Ice Wall to pass the turn, so definitely the security control player doesn't have any luck here in this first game. And it's going to swing with the Vmon first so that you can protect the Armor Release Magnamon in case the security is a Gaia Force. And it's going to swing with the Magnamon for a game to end game 1. We're going to move to game 2 here with the TK being played for the right player, which is the best start for any security control player because you get to look at your security, knowing your threats you have in your security, so you can actually play towards them. So that's a very nice start for him. You're going to see the Vmon, or rather the Upamon being hatched on the left side and evolving to the Vmon to draw 1. He's going to set up his own Tamer here with the Davis, looking at top 3. And we do see a bunch of Vmon. It's going to pick up the one with the Searcher one, adding it to hand. And it's actually going to further hardcore the Vmon to look at top 4 once again, to look for a dual color blue card, and it just be the Pale Dramon adding it to hand. So nothing too amazing happening right here, everybody just setting up their own turns, and we do see the Reinforced Memory Boost, which I must say is a very strong card as we do see the Atomic Blaster being added to the security, and it will be a 3 memory in the future turns. We're going to see a Rydramon being evolved on top of the Vmon there, and it's going to swing over at the Atomic Blaster, knowing that because he just put it there previously for the Reinforced Memory Boost, and we're going to see the Dual Tamer being set up once again. So I must say Armor Release do require some sort of setup before they become very lethal here, but we do see another Reinforced Memory Boost, and this time we do see the Zod Defeat being placed in the security, and that must feel amazing for the security control player as we do see the Vmon being pushed out. But the bad thing about Zod Defeat is of course the Digimon doesn't die, or rather doesn't do a battle with the security Digimon, so the Vmon is going to swing at security, hitting to a Zod Defeat. Nothing happens there, but just -1 security. The Rydramon will swing at security as well, drawing 2 thanks to the Upamon, and of course the Vmon. and he's gonna play another Davies to pass the turn. So basically he's still setting up his turn, but the Zord defeat on the field will definitely spell some sort of trouble for him, as he does have to, have some sort of pressure on a security control player before he actually do more things. He's gonna hatch the Gurimon here, so he's prepared to cast some great options in this turn. He's gonna hit over the Raidramon and the armor release will happen. He's gonna use one of the reinforced memory boosts to push him to 6, and of course cast the Crimson Blaze for 4 cost, killing off those V-Mons, and we'll be pushing out the TK, evolving to a yellow hybrid Digimon in the form of Kazemon. And we know what comes after is of course the Jet Sylphimon for just 1 cost and healing 1, pushing back to 5. The Kari of course gave him 1 memory here. It's gonna evolve to the Orphanimon 4 downward for 4 cost, and it's gonna heal back to 6 security, which means that the V-Mon did not do anything in this game alone yet. So that's really sad. Some tamers being set up, so will he be able to catch up in terms of damage against their 2 Digimons on the field? He's of course going to evolve to the V-Mon in nursery and hard calling another V-Mon on the battle area. And he's going to play a Hammer Spark to push him to 2, a second one to push him to 3. He's actually going to evolve to a Magnamon here already. I'll be hard calling another V-Mon to pass the turn. So basically 3 Digimon set up and ready to throw themselves at the security. But how will the security control player actually react to that? We do see the Magnamon gaining 4k DP thanks to the 2 armor release Digimon. The Orphanimon will swing at security, hitting to a Magnamon, so nothing there. The Zotifi will follow as well, hitting to a Stingmon, so no threat given. And we're going to play a Zoe to look at the 6 security he has there. Of course, he's going to pick out yellow hybrid Digimon. Oh, he actually misses, but we do know that if there's no yellow hybrid there, that means there's some sort of a lot of stuff on top of it. I would say going to evolve to a Zord defeat, and of course killing off 1 tamer in the form of the Dual Tamer because it's the most threatening card there. The V-Mon will actually be swinging security, and we do hit into a 3rd Zord defeat. Man, that guy's field is stacking quite a lot given that there's 3 Zord defeat on the field, but the Magnamon will be ignoring those Zord defeat as he do cast 2 Fire Rocket and hitting at the security for 3 security attack, hitting to a reinforced memory boost first, and a Gaia Force to kill off the Magnamon, but the security attack still goes on thanks to the armor release, and finally dying to the Orphanimon. And we're going to see an Ice Wall being played here, so the Zord defeat can't swing as freely. We're going to evolve the Raidramon on top of the V-Mon to pass the turn. Now of course, the right player will start the turn with 3 memory thanks to the Kari, and of course 3 Zord defeats. He does after all have 2 reinforced memory boosts, which we'll be using here, pushing him to 9 memory, effectively ignoring the Ice Wall being cast. So every attack we're going to minus 2 memory, but he can actually afford it, hitting down to 0 security with 3 memory left, and of course evolving to the Zephyrmon for 2 cost, and will be swinging for their final game. So that will be game 2 right here, and we're going to go to game 3 with Zoe being played straight away, and we do see a yellow hybrid Digimon being picked up. And at the same time, he does look at the security, so he already knows what's coming for the V-Mon player, as he does evolve to the V-Mon nursery. I'll be hard calling a V-Mon to look at our top 3 for 3 Digimon, and 3 Digimons does come in the form of V-Mon himself, Stingmon, and of course all those armored Digimons. He's gonna hard call another V-Mon of course to just continue searching, and we do see 3 V-Mons on the field already. And he's gonna pick up the Flame Dramon, adding it to hand, but the right player is calm as he does just cast the Kari Tamer and just pass the turn. The V-Mon is impatient, he's gonna start swinging and does hit into another Kari, the second V-Mon as well, hitting to a reinforced memory boost. And looks like he's going to cast the Ice Wall preemptively to stop the hybrid Digimon from swinging, as he does evolve to the Flame Dramon to keep one of the V-Mon alive given the power of the armor release. He's going to hatch the Gurimon, and we do really know that Gurimon means red option is coming down, but we're going to evolve the Zephyrmon and of course use the reinforced memory boost to play around the Ice Wall, swinging at the Flame Dramon with the Zephyrmon. Armor release will activate. He's going to lose 2 memory thanks to the Ice Wall of course. And so actually going to go evolve on top of the Zephyrmon into a Jet Sylphimon, which is a very balanced card, allowing him to heal 1, and of course with the Kari Tamers he does gain additional memory, making it free cost. I would say it's going to push out all of the Kari and evolving to the Kazemon, and the Kazemon will of course swing over the V-Mon, and the Ice Wall does effectively end the turn. The security and control player does really use the reinforced memory boost to help him overcome the Ice Wall, and the V-Mon will of course start swinging at security. He does draw 1 thanks to the jamming baby. Does hit into another Kari though. The V-Mon will of course swing also, hitting down to 2, but will be hitting to a Crimson Blaze, which is basically killing off all the V-Mons, so that's a massacre right there. You're gonna play the Davies to actually pass the turn by looking at top 3 and thus pick up the Pale Dramon and the Raidramon, adding both to hand. You're gonna see the Orphanimon 4 Dramon evolved here, healing 1, putting it back to 3. The Kari Tamers will activate, putting it back to 1 memory, so effectively making the Orphanimon a 2-cost evolution. And of course we'll see the Zord defeat follow up, killing off the Davies, which is a very nice move because Davies was the only card on his field, so basically he has to restart the game from scratch. You're going to evolve to the Raidramon in the nursery for 2 costs. I'll be playing another Davis to ensure that he does have 3 memory the next turn. Looking at top 3, you do see a V-Mon and 2 Hammer Spark going down to the bottom. So that's very bad news for him because Hammer Spark could be what he needs to actually seal off the game. The Zot Field with as security, hitting to a V-Mon, there's nothing. And of course, you'll see the infamous Reinforced Memory Boost looking at top 2. And of course, putting that Zot Field into a security, putting him back to 4. It's not going to use the Kari Tamer to push him back to 0 and it's going to end the turn. So it's a very smart move to not use the Kari there because you might not have any more plays to make, which allows you to pass back more memory to the opponent, which he does want. You do hit into a Zot Field, of course, thanks to the Reinforced Memory Boost. Gonna further hardcore a Stingmon and really know what's coming up because of the Stingmon hardcore is gonna go for the Jogras evolution to the Pildrammon, which will actually put down the Kazemon to the bottom of the deck and allow him to swing twice thanks to the Pildrammon ability, and gonna draw one thanks to the Stingmon. But it does hit into Atomic Blaster, which will kill off that Pildrammon, and that just feels bad. It's gonna actually hardcore the V-Mon to pass the turn here in the face of 2 Zot defeats, but he does have 4 security left against that 2 security left for the security control player, so it's not game over yet. The Zot Field will start swinging at the security, hitting to a Fire Rocket which does nothing because there's no blocker on the field. Gonna hit to another V-Mon there, and she's gonna cast the Crimson Blaze to cure the V-Mon, and the player has to restart from nursery, so that's unfortunate given that he's almost catching up to the security. So it's gonna evolve to the V-Mon in nursery, and it's gonna basically restart the game here. It's gonna cast the Ice Wall to prolong the game, actually 2 Ice Wall in fact, so that might be an overkill or might be just enough to stop the Zot defeats. It's going to cast the Dual Tamer to pass the turn. So definitely in the perspective of the yellow security control player here, he definitely has to try to heal as much as possible, and he does find a Jet Sylphimon, so that's very nice, and the Kari Tamer will activate here because the security has been added, so it's going to go to 1 memory. Of course, with the Reinforced Memory Boost, it's going to extend his place, pushing him back to 4 memory thanks to it, and I'll be pushing out the TK and evolving to a Zephyrmon for 2 costs. And of course, he's going to follow up with the Jet Sylphimon for 1 cost, drawing 1 and healing 1, putting him back to 3. It's going to end the turn with the Ophanimon 4 down mode, which will push him back to 4 security. And this is definitely spells a lot of trouble for the V-Mon player as he does have only 1 Digimon left. He's going to swing with the jamming V-Mon, hitting to a TK, so nothing to be scared of right there. He's going to pick up the Angelmon from the security, adding it to hand, shuffling the security as well. Gonna evolve on top of the V-Mon to a Rhydramon, and thanks to the Dual Tamer, of course, he's going to actually restand the Digimon, but he's definitely a few Digimon shots from ending the game there because of the 2 heals done by the security control player. Hitting to a Kazemon, which is going to kill off that Rhydramon, but thanks to the armor release, he does survive. He's going to cast the Hammer Spark to push into 3 memory and will be evolving to the Magnamon for 3 costs on top of the V-Mon and going to restand the Digimon once again, so he's definitely shy of that 2 security that the security control player did heal in the previous turn. So definitely the game was very close for the armor release Digimon. It's gonna hardcore the V-Mon to pass the turn. And we do have 3 Digimons against that 2 security left for the armor release player. It's gonna swing with the Zot defeats, of course, hitting to the 0. The Magnamon can block the Ophanimon, which will do so right here. But of course, he does have a hybrid Digimon ready in hand for that final swing, evolving on top of the TK, and this will be game. Now this is the yellow-red security control deck list if you guys are interested in. And this will be the armor release Digimon deck list if you guys are interested as well. Thank you guys for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.